Good morning on this beautiful Monday morning here. I welcome my friend and colleague and guest, Jessica Stroud. Jessica, welcome.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Happy to see all our Facebook friends, LinkedIn, YouTube. We're going to bring it this morning. So, Jessica has joined us in our journey of fearless female leaders, their untold stories revealed. So, welcome, Jessica.
Thank you.
You're already a best-selling author.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Yes. So I'd like to start by telling everybody the experience that you went through and why you're so excited about this book.
So I'm most excited about the book because if all of us are being honest, if all of the incredible women are being honest that are going to be in this book, we would say, oh my gosh, I'm a bit of an imposter. I'm a little bit of an imposter, right? Why in the world am I being in a book? Why has my incredible friend Maria put all this together and allowed us to be in a book called Fearless Female Leaders when most of the time we are super scared and we got no idea what's going on?
That's right.
We have our plans, we have our ideas, we have the things that we want to do. And sometimes God just comes up next us and says, oh, that's funny that you have your plans and you have your ideas. And part of I think no one is, unless it's some kind of a disorder, right? No one is inherently fearless, right? We all feel the fear. We all feel oh my gosh, what is everybody going to think? And so as you get older and get a little more secure, it's not what's everybody going to think, but there's still lingering people that come and go where we think, oh, what's so and so going to think? And with this group of women, and what we're going to talk about in this book are these incredible stories of we felt the fear and did it anyway. We felt the fear and we've learned to change the name of the feeling, right? So if we think about excitement and fear, they're pretty much the same feeling, right?
They are.
Like you and me, when we walk in a room, look, we are accomplished business women. But when I step on stage or Maria steps on stage or we walk in a room with 100 other women that we don't know, that we've never met, we still feel a little feeling of, the heart starts beating a little faster and you start breathing a little faster. And, all the ladies know you start sweating a little bit. And while some will say, oh my gosh, I'm scared, I'm full of fear, what we have learned to do and the women in this book have learned to do is we've learned to rename the feeling, right? And it's like, okay, that used to be called fear, but now I call it excitement. Now I call it anticipation. Now I call it, this is God telling me that something really good is about to happen. We've learned to write our own story around fear and failure and all of that. And we just can't stop. We just keep going.
Don't stop, but keep going. That's the thing. You ever wake up, and I'm sure you do, you're scared. You wake up and you're scared. You're scared for the day ahead. But, I have this little thing on my phone. It comes up every morning at 6:30. And it says, every single morning this pops up. And some days I'm already out of bed. Some days I'm just getting out of bed. In fact, this morning I was already at the gym. But it says, you will not fail if you never, ever, 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 ever give up.
I have micro fails all day long. All day long. I have these little micro failures. Oh, you all right? You good? I have these little micro failures. And it can be as small as, okay, I turned the wrong way down the street. Or, okay, I tried this outfit on and it didn't work. Like I thought these pants were going to look real cute with this shirt. I thought this shirt was going to look really cute with these shoes, and that didn't happen. Or, okay, I made this post about this program and no one responded to it. Or I tried this recipe and it didn't happen. So I have gotten so used to all of the little failures in my life. I just don't fear it anymore, right? I just don't worry. Okay, well, that didn't work out. Well, that's okay because I learned a lesson and something else is going to work out from that, right? We all know that we've taken a class or signed up for a program, and some people look at it and go, oh, that was a waste of money. I didn't learn anything from it. Whereas me and Maria and all the other women in this book, we look at it like, okay, how much did I pay for this program? All right, well, if I take one good idea away from this program or implement one thing, then it's not a failure because I know I'm going to do something with that.
So it's funny you brought that up. I failed so often that I not forgot. I don't even take it as a failure.
That's right. We're so used to it.
I really do. Right. I fail every day at something.
Absolutely. And you mentioned my book that I wrote. So in my book, it's basically my top 10 failures in life.
Yes.
And then I translated into, okay, here's what happened. Here's what I did. And here's what I took from it, right? Here's what I took from it. And here's what I think other people could take from it. And I had to cut myself off when I was doing the outline of the book and I was writing out, okay, here's the chapters. Here's all the failures I can talk on. I had to cut myself off at one point and go, okay, well, that's too many failures. They're not all going to fit in the book. It was like I had so many different failures that I could choose from. I was like, okay, I've got just way too many. I just got to pick 10 of them and move because we've had so many. But if Maria and I look back at all of the failures, then we look at, okay, but here's what came from that. Here's what I got from that. Here's how I succeeded through that. Here's how I persevered through all of that. And then we've effectively taken the sting out of the failure. Absolutely. We've taken the sting out of it.
So this book, collaboration, as you know, Jessica, is a little bit different because it also involves a mastermind. And spending the next year, starting in few weeks now, spending the next year together, collaborating together, working on ideas and things. And, all of our journeys are our own journeys. They're whatever we want them to be. And, it's crazy. You can change your mind at any given time, your journey. And at the end of the day, we have a group of beautiful women to support that journey of what that is and what that looks like. So if something isn't working, right, working through that and figuring out like what's the next right thing I can do today. So I look at that all the time. What's the next right thing? Because sometimes we get so stuck in also. And this is where the fearless part comes in. We get stuck in, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working, it's not working. But if you think back and you look at all the little successes that you had over time, it is about the journey of it. All those little things one day add up. So it's never going to work the way we want it to and as fast as we want it to. It's just not.
No. But on the flip side of that, sometimes we look back and we go, wow, that happened way quicker than I thought it would. That happened way quicker than I thought it would. So how I get past all of the failures, because it's a little sombering to sit here and go, oh yeah, I fail all the time. It's like we could be tempted to, if we didn't have the mindset that we have, when we didn't have the outlook that we have in the mindset, if we could look at it and go, yeah, we fail all the time. We're failures. We're failures. So I have how I manage the constant failure, because if somebody is listening to this, they're going, they fail all the time. Gosh, that's failures. No, that's not it. We're failing at something, but we're we have all kinds of things that we're working on. So for me, how I keep I keep my attitude in check and how I do all that is I make sure to acknowledge that I'm usually winning in one part of my life. Okay. So just like Maria just said, and about all these incredible women in the book, what's the next right thing? Okay, well, if I'm working on something and it's not going right, the next right thing might be, okay, get up and go have a snack. And the right thing could be, instead of grabbing a candy bar, why don't you grab a yogurt? Why don't you grab a banana? Why don't you grab something, right? Or if it's like, okay, well, I just made some bad food choices or whatever. Okay, well, what's another area of my life that I can make the next right choice? And so when Maria came to me about the book, I was like, yeah, but tell me about the mastermind. And she's like, well, we're going to be in a book. And I was like, okay, but tell me about all the other people I get to meet. Tell me about all the other women I get to hang out from, because I look at these other women and I think, to get to where they are, they have failed a lot, right? In an incredible way. And when we come together in masterminds like this, I get to learn from all of your failures. It's like, I want to learn from all of Maria's failures. I'm excited about that. I'm excited to learn from all that you've done.
I think the one thing it's really, really important I want to stress is that being transparent and open and honest about really what it takes. And I guess that's what I was thinking about this Monday morning. Really telling people the story of really what it takes to be successful. And whatever that means for you in your life, but it is about these little wins and these little failures that happen along the way, because there's no way to win long term in life without having to go through them and quickly picking yourself up and keep going. Like, I do it so much that I don't even think about it. Like, I just thought about this while we're talking. Like, I do it so much that it doesn't even phase me. I had somebody come to me the other day. They were upset because another agent had a call, and the one partner called, and the other partner called, and they talked to two different agents in the office.
Oh no. Yeah.
Oh no.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and she was upset. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, I wouldn't even. And
okay. Next.
because you're conditioned over time. You're conditioned over time. And I think that, the part of the book of being fearless is about the conditioning over time to know that you're going to get rejected, to know that people are going to not want whatever you have, and still put it out there and still tell the world your story.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it could help one person change their life.
So the fearless is not failing. And as anyone who is a part of this book or reads this book will see, the women in this book are fearless in pursuit of their goals, no matter what goal we decide it is, right? For me, it might be to build a brand. It might be to build a community. It might be to try a new recipe, make the best cherry cheesecake I absolutely can. And so it's not necessarily just the massive goals, it's the smaller goals. We're not trying to be perfect. We're just trying to, there's no try to it. All of the women in this book are fearless in pursuit of what they feel called to do. Fearless doesn't mean we're not failing. We're failing all the time because we have to fail in order to learn, right?
To succeed, there's no shortcut.
Absolutely. But we are, just like you were saying, we get knocked down. We just
get back up
a little quicker. Get up a little quicker, get up a little, and then maybe we didn't quite fall down that time, right? And then the next time we just don't even fall down because we're running so fast, right?
I think the being transparent and honest and putting it all out there is probably one of the hardest things to do, because it's some of it's really painful, and I'm not sure what part of your story yet that you'll be sharing in the book. And if you'd like to talk about it today, we can give a little glimpse of what that will be.
I have no idea. I have this list of failures and this list of things, and I'm like, which one am I going to talk about? Can I have like 3 chapters? No, I'm just joking. But it's because you and I have lived these full lives. We go back and we go, oh, I've got to pinpoint just one thing. I've got to pick out just one thing, and I'll pick one, and it'll be amazing, I promise. But it's I'm still trying to decide which specific instance of fearless or which specific instance of failure am I going to dive deep into, because let's just be real, I got all kinds of material, okay? Got all kinds as you do too, right?
Oh,
And it's only because we keep stumbling forward and we keep getting at that again and again and again, and eventually we're going to hit a home run.
it's all about the continuing to try, continuing to go, continuing to get up. I think that I came upon, I thought, what about this story? And I think the moment that it's written is when it'll be revealed.
I think so too. I'll sit with it for a little bit. I'll be very intentional about it. And whatever I feel is speaking to me, then that's it. Because we have lots of material.
Well, you know what I think also, Jessica, and I would like to know your thoughts about this. At 1 month, we're somewhere in our life and in our mind and in our story, and then something good happens, or maybe not something good, and we're on to another part of it. So sometimes you can close that door and be done.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't need to tell it, because you worked through it, or maybe you haven't worked through it and you're not ready.
Right. And you're just like, well, that's just staying where it is. Yeah, there are some things that they happen and you're like, so so I have a brand called She Rules, and one of the rules is nobody gets to know everything. Nobody gets to know everything in a world full of social media where everybody's talking about everything and everybody's trying to impress everyone with every single amazing thought that they have every day. Parts of my story those are mine, and not everyone gets to know everything about me. And that's okay, because there still need to be some surprises. And there were some, so with my dad, that's not something I talk about very often. And I remember at one point, my grandma, before she passed, she said, well, maybe you should go to therapy. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's buried, literally dead and buried. I'm done with it. I'm moving on. Right. And so just like you just said, there are certain parts of the story and certain parts of your life where you just have to get over it. Yes, people did you wrong. Yes, maybe you had a bad business dealing with somebody, or a friend went behind your back. But at some point, you just have to get over it. And whatever get over it means to you, maybe you write about it, maybe you don't write about it. For me, I usually am just like, all right, just get over it. Get over it. You have so much more good coming and that you're working on, and that is robbing your energy. So in my early 20s, there was someone that I worked with, and for probably about 4 years. And towards the end of the relationship, I got screwed big time. It was not good. I got screwed over. I got disrespected. Like, it was bad. I've never hated someone as much as I hated this person. Okay, let's just put that out there. And every time I thought about this person, I was just like, oh, I hate them so much. And I'm like, nope. And because it was in my mid-20s when I started discovering Brian Tracy and different people to help with the self-development. That's when I discovered it, the controlling your thoughts and all that. So I made myself, okay, every time I think of this person, I'm going to say a prayer for him and his kids. Like, I'm going to say a prayer for this person and this person's kids. And it was so hard in the beginning, so hard. And it was like, oh. And then it got easier, and then it got easier, and then it got easier. And then the anger and the hate just disappeared. I didn't talk about it. I didn't go to therapy. I didn't talk about it. I didn't tell anyone about it. I just dealt with it in my own way. And then it was probably 7 years after, maybe even longer, the relationship was over, that I saw this person and I had zero hate in my heart, zero hate. And I actually went up to him and I was like, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you again." And that person actually apologized to me, said, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you and what happened." And I was like, "Oh, wow. Okay, great. Good to know." But I was over it. I was on with it. I didn't, like Maria said, when you got to deal with it in your own way, whatever dealing with it is, but we're not carrying things. We're not carrying things with us.
No, we're not. And I liked how you did that. You prayed for him and his family.
It was so hard. But I did it. Because what happens when we carry hate? Look, I know you've been
bring more hate. We bring more hate.
And when you are, I mean, I know your story. You got all kinds of reasons to be salty with some people. And what happens when you are salty? Does it affect them or does it affect you?
It affects me, but it affects the entire organization.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So our energies carry waves and waves beyond us. Even if you can't see it, it's still there. And even if you don't wear it on your face and your heart on your sleeve, which I sometimes do. Even if you don't and you're pretending, the universe knows, the energy knows.
Yeah, absolutely.
So there's no pretending. There's no, we forgive people for us, not for them.
Oh, absolutely. You were so right. You were so right. So when I was praying for him and his kids, I was healing myself. I was removing the anger from me. Yes, it was like, oh my gosh, please bless them. I hope they're doing well. Please take care of them. But really it was me that I was healing, that I was, and that was a big lesson for me, especially in my younger years. Younger, because we're so old, just FYI. Gosh, that seems like a lifetime ago. Absolutely.
Some things certainly do. And then others don't.
Mm-hmm. It's like, so raw.
So I want to talk a little bit about your brand, Jessica, because you're a great marketer.
Okay.
You're a great brand. You have a business that teaches others how you bring in 500 referrals a year.
I do, yeah.
And now you have a brand, She Rules. So I like to touch on both of those. I like to start with She Rules and how that came about.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So the She Rules is very recent. Okay. So we have things that we do, and then we have things that we are. All right. So what I do is, and which we'll talk about, is I have a specific skill that I train I train others, right? That's what I do. But who I am is the She Rules brand. So we're all living by a certain set of rules. Okay. We all have rules that we live by, conscious, unconscious. Some of them are intentional. Some of them are not. Some of them come from, I don't know because my parents did it that way. I don't know. That's just how my spouse does it. I don't know. That's just the way I do it. So much of what we do is unintentional. And I decided that I don't want to live by unintentional rules. Like, I want to be intentional and I want to do things in a certain way. Okay. So I have a podcast called She Rules where I talk about the rules, and I don't even know how many of them are, right? There's like 65 rules or something. And some of them are basically just principles. But look, I do my own thing. I make my own life. So I call them rules if I want to call them rules. Okay. So, and one of them, like we mentioned, is nobody gets to know everything. Another one, some of the other ones are envy is a tool. I don't see envy as a bad thing with the way that I use it. Other ones are it's okay to change your mind. We're meant to evolve. Like there's all these different rules that I want to intentionally live by, right? I want to be intentional in all of the things that I do. And some of the rules I've taken from other people, like one I took from my friend Danelle Delgado that says, the best ideas don't come out when you work, they come out when you play, right? And so that's a reminder to me. If I'm sitting at my desk, the best ideas probably are not coming out of me, right? The best ideas for a marketing piece or a Facebook post or a podcast or whatever, they're not coming out of me when I'm sitting here. They're coming out when I'm on my walks, I'm on my runs or whatever. So it was my friend Danelle that actually helped me come up with the she rules, because she said, yes, you know, because I'm all about life of intention and life by design. And she said, no, you have these rules that you live by. You have your own set of rules. It's like you're playing out of a different playbook and a different rule book than other people. And where does that come from? And I said, well, I just make my own rules, right? And she's like, exactly. What you need to do is your calling in life, just like with my course, my training that you mentioned, my referrals without asking. For 6 years in a row, I personally averaged over 500 referrals a year by what I do on social media. And it's because I wrote my own rules on social media. I've been married for over 18 years, and we still really like each other because we wrote the rules around our marriage, right? I write the rules around my business. I own an insurance agency, and I don't run it like all of the other insurance agencies run. We wrote our own rules about that. When it came to my health and my fitness, I wrote my own rules about how to create a strong body. We don't do skinny around here. We do healthy and strong. And so I had to look at all of the things and go, well, what's right for me? What's right for me? And so who I am. So what I teach is how to use social media for massive amounts of referrals without asking, because who wants to be that person begging for them? But who I am is she rules, and I help other self-driven women write their own rules. That's how the two mesh together.
I love it. I love it. I love when you mentioned about you don't come up with the ideas when you're sitting at your desk.
Mm-hmm.
So my mantra around that is the magic happens when nothing's happening.
Oh, I love that.
So when I get the best ideas, last night I stayed up a little later than I usually do because I just needed everybody, the cats and dogs and sister and husband, everybody is in bed sleeping. I was like, can you go to bed? Can you go to bed? Bedtime.
Yeah.
I just needed. And so I take notes. I write notes in Slack to myself. I have a channel called MQ Notes. And I came up with like 3 really cool ideas because nothing was happening. I was just sitting there, or I'm in the shower, or I'm like, I'm at the gym and I'm doing the crunch machine or something. Like I'm doing nothing, literally. Like I'm not nothing, but I'm not working. The idea about it is it's that it's not always about being in production. We need time to clear our heads, to do nothing, to think, and just be. And another great time is when you take a little nap.
I love naps.
Did you ever wake up and you came up from a nap and you're like, I just came up with a great idea?
That's a great idea. Absolutely.
So I do like the magic happens. The magic happens when nothing is happening.
Mm-hmm.
And so, collaborating with other women and coming up with not just ideas, but the support. Because I think, and you can tell me what you think about it, but I think We might have some difficult roads ahead in a lot of our businesses that might require us to do more than we have, which is another reason why. So I came up with the idea to do this collaboration. It was this year. I wrote down in my book at the beginning of the year, write the book. And I said, how am I going to do that thing? And so I put it out there, and then things started to come together. And, not immediately, months went by, and then this thing happened. And I said, oh, wait, I'm going to do a book collaboration. And so things start to snowball in a good way. You can make a good snowball, not a bad snowball. And that's how things all come about. It's like something that we're all connected, these little dots, and they're going all different directions. We are connected to each other.
What is it you say? You said this to me, and I think about it. I think I say it wrong, but I say it because you said it to me. It's a year from now. What are we celebrating? But I think you actually say it's 5 years from now. Talk about that for a minute, because I love when you talk about that.
So one of the things I always ask people is, I said, if you could wave a magic wand, there's two things I say. If you could wave a magic wand and you had your druthers, what would your life look like a year from now? What would it look like 5 years from now? And then the other thing is, it's December, well, in this case, we'll just say it's December 31st, 2023. And we always do a toast in our office. So we always work on the 31st unless it's a weekend, because we're a real estate company and we're closing files. Yeah. So people want to close the last day of the year. How crazy is that? That's how it goes. And a lot of times they're commercial transactions. So, and they want to close at 2:00. The banks are closing. Okay. Anyway, so we always have a toast, and I ask everybody in the company, a year from now, at the end of this year, and it's 12/31, and we're toasting to your success. What happened through you and for you this year? So it's not just for you, but it's through you. People want to say, this happened to me, this happened for me, but it actually is happening through me. What are we celebrating?
Well, you and I are going to be celebrating being #1 best-selling authors.
That's right. Amazon best-selling author. That's one of the things. So with that celebration, it's a celebration of the story, of our stories, of our journeys, of our lives. And one of the things I learned, Jessica, a long, long time ago, actually, it wasn't that long ago. Let's just say almost a decade ago. I had a goal in mind, financial goal. And I'm sitting in this is before I started my company, I was with another firm. I ran a team there. And I can see this clear as day. I'm sitting there, and I open up the envelope, and the envelope is my 1099. And I open up the envelope, and I look at it, and I literally went like this. Is this all that is? And so after that day, I made the decision not to focus on those types of goals anymore. I made the decision to focus on enjoying the journey of my life. And it took me, I guess, I was 41 then, or 2, whatever, something like that. And that's when I realized it's what we do every day and how we can leave a legacy. And so here we are with the book, because writing a book is leaving a legacy. Inspiring and moving others is leaving a legacy. My legacy is to develop 100 women entrepreneurs in real estate within a 24-month period for them. So it's going to take more than 24 months for me.
Okay.
To consistently earn 100,000 plus a year in real estate and be a homeowner and teach them how to be a real estate investor.
That's not just for right now, for their future too.
Right. And some of these women will move out of generational poverty and create generational wealth. So not only will I have affected this one person, it will affect an entire generation. And that's the legacy that I leave behind. And that's what I get up every day for. And that's part of the story that I'm going to share in the book.
I'm excited to read it.
And how that came to be. So the book is all about the journey of life, and the mastermind is about the collaboration and the journey for all of us over the next year. And what will we all be celebrating at the end of 2023? Because I think we're going to have a lot of hard work ahead of us, but I also think that we're going to have a lot of successes and wins, because we are all so powerful and fearless in what we do, that we're going to not allow any of the fear of all the outside influences that are telling us this, and that. See no evil, hear no evil.
That's right. We're going to put our blinders on and run.
Head down, collaborate, and run, and link arms and do it together, because we can go fast alone, but farther together.
That's right. When's the book coming out?
The plan is by the end of the year.
All right, nice. Wow, I really have to get my chapter together.
Yes. If we don't launch in December, it'll be January. So just depending on, but it's going to be within the next few months.
Yep.
So there's a lot of marketing and branding and celebration around that. And it's perfect timing. It's perfect timing with everything else that's going on in the world. If I hear one more thing about the cost of, eggs and mayonnaise, I went to buy a jar of mayonnaise. It was $10.
You have to have it. I don't know how much gas costs. I don't know how much bread, milk, eggs. I don't know how much any of that costs. Why? Because I have to have it.
Have to have it.
I don't know how much it costs because I don't care. I'll just go make more money.
That's all we can do. So all we can do. All we can do is continue to tell our story, enjoy our journey, and live and build the life of our dreams. And so can everybody else. And I think inspiring others and teaching them how to do that and giving back is what we're meant for. I enjoyed our journey today, Jessica.
Yeah. I always enjoy our conversations.
I thank you for your time and being in Fearless Female Leaders or Untold Stories Revealed. I'm excited to be on your podcast coming up. She Rolls. That'll be awesome. And to hear more about, I love like the way that you live your life. I love your whole theme. You have a theme. I don't have a theme. I need a theme. Maybe
we're gonna get you a theme. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get you a theme of your life.
I need a theme.
Okay.
I need a theme. I love the pink. I love the hair. I love the car. I love the workout clothes. I love all the stuff. It's so cool.
We can get you. It's my vibe, but you can have it. We'll get you your own vibe for sure. Absolutely.
Well, let's collaborate on that together. Okay. It was great to see you. I wish you a wonderful week.
Thank you.
And I'm excited about our journey.
It's going to be the best. We're going to have so much to celebrate.
So much. So here's to, I'll celebrate with a cup of coffee this morning. Here's to Fearless Female Leaders, Untold Stories Revealed.